I'm Betsy Bennett from Hastings, Nebraska. I'm a deacon in the Episcopal Diocese of Nebraska and a board member of Nebraska Interfaith Power and Light. Welcome to Nebraska. I share the concerns of other Nebraskans about the effects of this proposed pipeline on our land and water. But my testimony focuses on the discussion of greenhouse gas emissions in the State Department's Environmental Impact Statement, which says that the production and use of oil sands crude has a greater carbon impact than other forms of oil, but then dismisses that impact from consideration. The arguments for this dismissal seem to be that the carbon emissions gap between this and other forms of oil might decrease over time, and that the tar sands will be developed regardless of the pipeline, so we in the United States may as well cooperate in its development. Suppose little Johnny steals a toy from a neighbor's yard. When his parents tell him this was wrong, he says, "But if I didn't take it, Tommy would have, so I didn't do anything wrong." His parents, of course, will tell Johnny that stealing the toy was wrong, even if someone else does take it in the end. The moral logic of the argument that without this pipeline, the tar sands will be developed anyway, so we may as well have a hand in increasing greenhouse gas emissions, is the same as Johnny's defense of his wrongdoing, but with much more at stake. Our Episcopal House of Bishops last week released a pastoral teaching on the environment. In it, our bishops say, "Science confirms what we already know. Our human footprint is changing the face of the earth, and because we come from the earth, it is changing us too. We are engaged in the process of destroying our very being." Deep down, we all do know that, though our actions reveal that we aren't always honest with ourselves about what we know. Gary Trudeau's Doonesbury strip this Sunday featured an interview with an honest man who said that he opposes development of a sound climate policy because he cares much more for his own short-term economic interest than for the future of the planet. This is the ideology of monetary gain before all else. As a Christian, that is not my ideology. The dismissal of the dangerously high amount of greenhouse gases released by development of the tar sands mirrors such thinking. The arguments favoring building this pipeline come down to possible short-term economic gain with no regard for the future. And the way the Environmental Impact Statement addresses this issue, with assistance we learned last week from TransCanada's lobbyists, suggests that this State Department is more concerned about short-term political gain than the future of the planet. It is folly to omit the enormous climate effects of mining, processing, and burning the tar sands from the decision-making process. Climate change is not in our national interest, nor in the interest of however many generations manage to come after us on the hot and storm-filled planet that will be our legacy if we fail to act with wisdom and with reverence for this earth that God pronounced good at its creation. With concern for our land, water, and the future of life in this state and on this planet, I oppose permitting construction of the Keystone XL pipeline. Thank you.
Thank you.